what I always say for everything.
Here comes Caleb. Oh, okay. I'd like to call to order the Avalon City Council meeting of Tuesday, March 17th. If we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And you may be seated. The roll call, please.
Councilmember De La Rosa?
Here.
Councilmember Ponce?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lavelle?
Here.
Mayor Marshall?
Here.
And for the record, Councilmember Schickling will not be in attendance today.
Are there any announcements or written communications?
There's no written communications. I do have a couple of announcements. The City of Avalon is pleased to announce the certified list of candidates for the upcoming statewide primary election held on June 2nd. The following candidates have been certified to appear on the ballot for the office of mayor: Cindy Cassidy, Daniel Feltz, Grayson Klein, Annie Marshall. The following two candidates have been certified to appear on the ballot for the two available city council seats: Bree Boussard, Donna Lopez, Michael Ponce, Jessica Romero. Additional information regarding the voting times and locations will be made available through the City of Avalon website at www.cityofavalon.gov and Los Angeles County Registrar Recorder County Clerk at www.lavote.gov as it becomes available.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have a proclamation. If I could call Grayson Klein up to the podium there, please. You're still fitting into your uniform.
That's what my wife said. She goes,
This is a proclamation of the City Council of the City of Avalon honoring Grayson D. Klein for his years of service with the Avalon Sheriff Station. Whereas it is with great pride we recognize Sergeant Grayson D. Klein and honor him for his distinguished 5 years serving the City of Avalon, as well as his lifelong contributions to the County of Los Angeles. And whereas Grayson began his 40-year career of public service when he started as the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Explorer in 1986. Oh, you had to be adorable then. Whereas Grayson was hired as a deputy sheriff training and entered Los Angeles County Sheriff's Academy in 1991. Whereas upon graduation to the rank of deputy sheriff, Grayson served with great distinction in the Los Angeles County Jails, Industry Sheriff Station, and Training Bureau. And whereas, upon being promoted to the rank of sergeant, Grayson continued to serve Los Angeles County, working at Cerritos Sheriff Station, Narcotics Bureau, and Avalon Sheriff Station. And whereas Grayson's vast knowledge and experience not only made Grayson an indispensable asset to the city and his wife Renee, are also valued members of the community. And whereas, while on duty, Grayson has routinely demonstrated a care for safety, striving to protect Avalon employees, residents, and visitors, and Grayson's dedication to service extends to every component of his life, on the pickleball court. And whereas retirement is a milestone to celebrate a lifetime of service, and indeed Grayson Klein has provided a lifetime of service. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Avalon is hereby congratulate Avalon Sergeant Grayson D. Klein as he ends his law enforcement career and begins a new chapter of civilian life as he retires from public service on March 31st, 2026, dated the 7th day of March, by all the City Council.
thank you.
And congratulations.
I don't have much to say, but thank you. I've worked a lot of different communities, a lot of rough areas, but never worked any place like this where I felt like home. And the deputies here and the sergeants and the captain, you can really impact people's lives and make a difference in this small town, because someone you deal with today might be your server tomorrow or the person you sit next to in church, and it's a different community. And I think that we're all fortunate to have this council and these residents and these deputies here, and they feel at home, and you guys made me feel at home. Thank you.
Excellent. Oh, sure. Oh, Grayson, let us take a picture with the council that are here, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you.
One of them here.
I'm just doing my best. Up here.
We could be a little taller.
Oh, I think.
One, two. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you want to get up here with your husband? Let me take a picture. Okay, it was nice of all of you to come to see Grayson get his proclamation, but it's not nice that you're all leaving us. We've got a lot of good business you might want to hear about. And now we will have department head reports.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council members, and City staff. Jackie Cordero, Public Works Director. The Public Works crew continues to focus on operational maintenance like weed abatement around the city, landscaping, and routine maintenance along Front Street. They're also taking the opportunity, and it's been really warm the last week or two, so they're performing some general shop maintenance, equipment upkeep, supply inventory, and vehicle maintenance. The crew finished the Burke Park leak. They repaired irrigation leaks on Front Street and have been working on the installation of a new maintenance yard gate. The gate still needs key access controls and system components to be fully finished. We finally received the partitions for the women's green PA, and we're expecting to install those partitions this week, completing the project. Crews are also working on Tremont Hall, replacing windows and prepping the exterior for paint. Over the next couple of months, Tremont Hall will undergo some much-needed repairs and renovations. So stay tuned on that. I think it will be really good for the community. We have updated maintenance coverage for the parks and cemetery. We will have 2 dedicated maintenance staff primarily taking care of these areas. At a minimum now, there will be 6 days a week of this coverage. On the 7th day, the weekend staff will focus on Front Street and the parks. This will increase our level of dedicated service to the parks and cemetery. We opened up continuous maintenance recruitment for additional part-time staff with an emphasis on weekend and holiday coverage. We interviewed 7 people, but out of those, only 1 currently is going through the background hiring process. We would like to have another person, especially as the busy season approaches. So if you know anyone, please have them apply. Any questions?
No, very good, though. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council, City staff. For the month of March, the Sheriff's Department has 279 log entries. Of that, 226 were observations made by the deputies, and 52 were calls for service from the community. During those entries, there was 18 traffic stops, 4 pedestrian stops, 11 parking tickets, 10 hazard citations, 10 warnings, and 5 vehicle tows. There was a total of 4 arrests. 2 of them were for misdemeanor domestic violence. 1 was for driving while under the influence of alcohol, and 1 was for stolen vehicle. We have some stuff going on. Actually, tomorrow we have a community meeting over at Pete's at 6 p.m. Basically, it's just like a coffee with a cop kind of. We'll have the new sergeant over there meeting the community, and we'll be talking about what's going on and answering questions and that kind of thing. Next week, we have traffic services detail coming over. We'll have 5. And
That's on what day?
it's on the 18th of April. On the 18th of April, Saturday.
Oh, okay.
And then on April 15th, we have a training day with Harbor. So I've been working with the Harbor Master and myself trying to get together. We just kind of want to coordinate our calls better in the harbor because as of right now, typically what we'll do is we'll go out there and we'll coordinate when we're out there. But if we plan ahead and we understand what everybody plans on doing, it's gonna take response times to these vehicles. So that's the plan.
Excellent.
Any questions?
When you talk about your new citation gizmo, how does that interface with the one that we gave you to use?
It really doesn't. The city one's going to be only city sites, and the county one's going to be for anything that's like so for the city one, we use it for municipal codes and parking tickets and that kind of thing.
Okay.
We can't do those. We can't do like vehicle code or any California codes, H&S, that kind of thing. Like
I gotcha.
With the new system, when we go to release somebody on a citation, we'll be able to put it in the system, and the court will get it immediately. Rather than what we do now is we collect it and then write it down. It goes to the court. It's just going to be a quicker system than we have currently.
Yeah, excellent. Sounds good. Yeah.
I'm very excited about it.
Yes.
The city system is the first time in my career that I've used a digital system, and I can tell you that it's leaps and bounds from writing it on paper and looking up things, because we're able to just, like for instance, you can scan a license now, and it populates all the fields. It's such a time saver.
Oh, nice.
It's fantastic. So
Good.
It's a good thing.
Good.
It really
Good.
is.
Good. And I'm happy to hear you had 5 impounds.
I'm sorry?
5 impounds. That's good.
I mean, they're really stores. We don't really, we haven't done any impounds. I mean, I know I'm digging into the weeds here a little bit, but yeah, they are actually quite a bit of difference. But,
Okay. All right. Thanks. Thank you, Matt. Okay. Who's next? Kevin? Harbor Master?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council, city staff, Kevin Schmidt, Harbor Master. So, I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but it's been pretty warm out there. So it's like summer, which is a great thing for everybody, but especially the Harbor Master, because last weekend, we were pretty much, or this past weekend, we were pretty much sold out on the inside of the harbor. We had a few 30s, a few 40s, but all the big guys were pretty much taken care of. This weekend, it's probably going to be much of the same. We're taking a ton of reservations right now, so I think everybody's trying to get out of the heat and get, to Catalina Island. So we'll probably have another really busy weekend out there. So we've added some staffing for that, just because the boat traffic has increased. What else we got going here? The mooring service has been out there. They've been super busy replacing gear, mooring gear for the season, so fresh, clean lines, nice and white and shiny for summer season, getting weights done. You probably saw that we got some construction work going on at the mole. Okay, so yeah. So right now, I'm sure Bob has informed you all that they're finishing up the concrete work on that last little corner there by the mole crane, and then they're filling in the revetments. So the mole crane is right now, it's restricted a little bit. We can't pull out every size boat that we normally can. We can do most of the skiffs and jet skis and things like that. So we're going to have to do some accommodations here for people that have bigger boats and things like that. Are going to probably have to go out to the boatyard and see if Caleb can pull them out there. But that's hopefully for another 2 weeks. That's what we're looking at for there, and they should clear out of there and then finish up the infill on the ramps. So that's going on. We got training going on. We got one of our guys going off to marine firefighting with DBW. Harbor maintenance, they've been super busy right now getting ready for season with floats. Right now, the big project for them is hardware on the end of the pier. So where the end float ramp hooks on, these guys are up here fabricating that, making the stainless steel pin that basically, it's really important. So we're trying to keep them focused on getting that done, because the end float will be back over here in May. In terms of numbers, pretty good first 2 weeks of March. We had 384 boats arrive for a total of 1,672 mooring nights. I was going to do the advanced math for you, but I had a call I had to take with. But just realized that's more than double the number of boats from last year at this time, and it's probably about 25-30% more in terms of mooring nights than last year at this time. And some more fun stats for you. We had 9 Baywatch assists, 8 medicals, 1 LASD assist. Oh, as Captain King was talking about, we're going to do some training with them coming in April. And last but not least, we did 143 security patrols. So lots going on out there and getting ready for summer.
Thank you very
questions?
much. Any questions? No, thank you very much.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. David Hart, Community Services. Spectrum Sport had their Catalina Marathon this past weekend. They completely sold out of each run. There was 200 in the 5K, 340 in the 10K, and 500 in the marathon for a total of 1,040 participants, which meant family members and everything. So this weekend was absolutely packed because of this event. It was awesome and a great experience for all, including our own staff members who all completed the 10K. Great. Big special shout out to Community Service Department, Marissa Morones, who came in first of the staff members. Community Service representing. Also, a big shout out to my son, who is 6 years old and took third in his age group, won 14 years old in the 5K. Spectrum Sports will be back in November for the half marathon. Last Thursday and Friday, representatives from the Community Service Department, Marissa and I, attended the annual California Parks and Recreation Society CPRS conference in Long Beach. The event provided a vital platform for exploring emerging industry trends, innovative programming models, and advanced technology solutions designed to enhance recreation services. Some of our key takeaways and innovations is watch party concepts, as we have, the World Cup and the Olympics coming up, discovered new engagement strategies and equipment to elevate our community viewing events. Recreation management software. We evaluated new generation software platforms designed to streamline registration, facilitate management and resident communication through AI. Public space products reviewed new hardware and surfacing options for city parks and facilities. We took some professional and development courseworks from diverse programming, exploring specialized strategies for senior programming. We learned the reality of inclusionary play to ensure all residents have equitable access to city services. Operational growth, attended workshops on increasing program participation and navigating the complexities of Proposition 4 funding, which, by the way, is a lot of funding out there, as Ryan will be able to represent today as well. Fiscal planning, participated in high-level briefings on how macroeconomics directly impact municipal budgeting and long-term financial forecasting for recreational departments. That was exciting and a sleeper a little bit, but that was I learned a lot. Marissa and I appreciated the opportunity for the experience, and we'll email the council a full report out this week. Currently, right now, signups are still going on for Prime Timer events on Tuesday, March 24th. We'll be taking the Spry group up to the airport for lunch and a small hike led by the Conservancy. The Conservancy, during lunch, will also be giving a talk on their Fox program. Easter egg hunt, Saturday, April 4th. The Easter egg hunt is back on the lawn at Descanso Beach from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. 10 a.m. is 0 to 3-year-olds, 10:15, 4 to 6, 10:30, 7 to 10, 10:45, 11 to 17-year-olds. Make sure you bring your own basket.
You're not going to turn that also into a prime timer event?
We'll figure it.
You'll have to put them in very plain sight.
Very on high.
Yeah.
Bend over to pick it up. The City of Avalon, in partnership with the Catalina Island Conservancy, presents Foxtrot Adventures 2.0. It's a partnership that we did with the Conservancy last year over the spring break to do a day camp for the spring breakers. We'll be doing it over 3 days, April 7th, 8th, and 10th. Kids will explore the island while enjoying company with their peers, helping make learning about our island and nature a lasting experience for our local youth. It is absolutely free for ages 7 to 14. There is only 30 spots, so please, we need you to come in and sign up. Currently, there's 12 spots left for this. The minute we put it out, people started signing up. It's very popular. They take them out to Hay Press, Little Harbor, Blackjack, teach them survival skills, and teach them about the island. Last but not least, the City of Avalon's Youth T-Ball will be starting up from May 3rd through June 14th. These are for age groups 3.5 to 8 years old. From 9 on is the Little League, our Youth Little League, and we'll have some more information about that coming out at the next council meeting. But for right now, the signups are up for our Squirts 3.5 to 5 years old and our Sluggers 6 to 8 years old. Look us up on Catalina, cityofavalon.gov and sign up there. Thank you. Any questions?
No, thank you.
Yes.
Leslie, go ahead.
I heard you're going to be doing your own version of a 5K downtown. We wanted to know when we could watch and if it will be televised. And we heard you were doing under a 10-minute mile. And in honor of the women and participants who completed the 10K, and you made a joke about them at the last meeting.
Yeah,
so,
And I'm going to let you know, I'm going to kill the time.
okay.
I'm going to
need an official timekeeper, stopwatches. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome.
Thanks, Dave. Chief?
Good afternoon, council, mayor, city staff. Michael Alegria, fire chief. Sorry I'm late. We had a small little smoldering outside fire in the wood on one of the houses on Clarissa. Luckily, someone saw it, put some water on it. Our engine was delayed due to the fact they were going on a medevac, so it took some time. If that was middle of the night, we probably would have lost those two structures. Luckily, someone saw it and helped take care of it. For the month of February, we had 81 total calls. We had doesn't sound right, but we had a good call with the hospital. It was something going bad with the patient. We worked for a couple hours and got the patient over town. But just want to say we've been working a lot with Hannah and Dusty, the two nurses up there they have working, and we've got some training we're going to be scheduling more regularly with the nurses and doctors up there. So we're on the same page like we were that night. But it was a good call, but for a bad situation.
Right.
Myself and guys have been attending different trainings on the mainland the last few weeks. LA County Fire 2 weeks ago, they did 3 days of training over here. All the, what we call Battalion 14, Palos Verdes crews that are responsible for the island. 8 to 12 came over for 3 days in a row and walked and talked, went to the airport, did the loop, talked about the Catalina plan, and pretty soon they're going to do their annual drill on the mainland as well. And then today they did a radio drill, communications fires on the island. Just want to remind everybody too, cops are writing a lot of tickets. We've had a lot of people at night, Bird Park, Solvista, other areas parking in the red, blocking fire hydrants. So we will be going out, and they will be going out ticketing at night. Just because it's night, please do not park next to a fire hydrant. Weed abatement, we're already starting the list for weed abatement by July 1st. And next week, I will be at the CIRA Fire Chiefs Forum. It's the first one. Yes, they have a bunch of departments now. They're hosting in Sacramento for fire chiefs for a 2-day conference.
Excellent. Questions, comments? Nope. Perfect. Thank you. Oh, and how about Saturday?
Saturday, St. Baldrick's. I'm going to lose 5 pounds at least, shaving my head. It's driving me nuts going this long. But Saturday, 11 to 3, Santiago, possibly some tacos, hopefully a beer garden, and a lot of raffle prizes. And we've got probably 30 signed up so far to shave their heads. And there's also a trim, a new one this year. If the ladies or the men have long hair and they want to donate 8 inches, they will cut 8 inches off to donate as well.
Oh, excellent.
So see you Saturday.
Yes, you will. I don't know about
They'll allow walk-ups this year as well, correct?
That-
Walk-ups? You don't have to be signed up?
Last year we had quite a few walk-ups. They just asked, it's easier if you pre-register, but
Yeah.
we'll have tablets and everything down there where you could register before you get your head
Okay.
shaved.
Okay. And what I didn't know is they'd like you to donate at the same time. I didn't realize when I took somebody up there last year. And so, yeah, they want you to donate, not just get your head shaved. Yeah, not just get a free shave. Okay, thanks. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, Matt Baker, Finance Director. Just wanted to provide a quick revenue update published on the website and sent out to Council, visitor-driven revenues through January. January was a really positive month for the city from a visitor-driven revenue perspective. All revenues across the board were up. TOT was up about 25%. While that's great news and certainly positive, just to put it in perspective though, January is a lot smaller of a month compared to a peak summer month. So in dollar terms, that 25% is about $50,000. Certainly positive. I'm not saying no, but it's not going to drastically change kind of the outlook of where I think we're going to end up at the end of the year. But that being said, I'm more confident now than I was heading into the month that we're going to hit our budget numbers at least, and likely exceed them by a little bit from a revenue standpoint. Early February reporting also seems pretty positive, so we'll update as we get more info. That kind of segues into the budget discussion. So finance is working right now with department heads to build out the budget for fiscal year 27. From a council meeting standpoint, the second meeting of April is when I'm looking at presenting revenue update as well as the revenue estimates for fiscal year 27. The first meeting of May is where I'm targeting operating budget discussion, and the second meeting of May discussing CIP. That's all subject to change, but that's right now kind of what we're looking at as far as budget presentations, with the goal of having a full budget to council at June 2nd, and then hopefully adopting on June 16th.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Jocelyn Francis, Assistant City Manager. As you all know, we're in it for vehicle season. Just want to remind everybody the due date is April 1st before incurring those late fees. So far, we've issued over 1,000 vehicle stickers to date, which is pretty good. So the online system has been working out quite well, and I think that's really helped to get people to fulfill their annual obligation for the vehicle program. Just a reminder, though, you can go online to cityofavalon.gov/vehicles to renew your vehicle there if you have not already. For the month of March, we'll be open every Friday until 5 o'clock to help facilitate some people that may be coming in for spring break to get their stickers issued. I just want to give some huge shout out and kudos to the Hungry App team, Karen and Peter. They were here for a week. They walked around, they met a lot of folks, they did some training here. Kudos to Moniqua and Dave with the Community Services Department, Carolyn for getting the word out there. I think it was super successful. I don't have the stats yet, but I'll bring them back to council once I have them on how many more folks we were able to get signed up for the Hungry App. We've started getting phone calls wondering when the spring bulky item household hazardous waste drop-off will be at City Hall. We've submitted all the paperwork to the state and the county for permitting and licensing for the event, and I'm just waiting to hear back from them before making the announcement. I'm thinking this year, with timing though, it might not be until May, but once we get that date approved, I'll for sure let everybody know. It's happening. It just hasn't scheduled yet. And then we've been confirmed with LA County Regional Planning, the CTAC Committee, which oversees significant ecological area projects, will be getting a presentation on the Pebbly Beach landfill site project for approval. Their focus is on the biological constraints analysis and the biota report for the site life optimization project. So that's a really key, exciting step that we're taking there with that project. a bit of sad but happy news. I got a phone call from Casey Parlett, the artist that created the Epicenter sculpture that's been on display. He said he would be moving it in January. We're in March. Later this month, at the end of this month, he'll be coming to return to the island to ship it back over, and its next temporary home will be the Cabrillo Aquarium in San Pedro.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
so I'm glad for him, sad for us, but just want everyone to know. So if they want to go observe and enjoy the sculpture, they've got, another week or so to do it. And then just working on some waste diversion reporting reports for the landfill project. So far, year to date, from June until now, over 38,000 bottles and cans collected at the Olin's Cube machine. Really, really great information. Just wanted to share with you. And then had a meeting last week on 343 Sumner. That's the site that council approved last council meeting. We met with BBK, our folks from our planning and building department, and then a potential receiver for the property on next steps. So that's exciting. And yeah, that's all I have.
Thank you.
I have a question on the Olin machines.
Yes.
Are we close to getting 2 more, or?
Yes, yeah. It's just working with Care for Catalina on that. We've gotten some really good donations. We got paperwork from the company over town who's going to be selling it to the island. So yeah, that's in progress. Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Kelly Robuffo, Contract Planner. Just wanted to make the announcement that tomorrow night is March 18th is our regularly scheduled Planning Commission meeting. That'll be at 5 o'clock here in the council chambers. We have 3 items on the agenda tomorrow night. There are 2 transient rental license applications for 355 Catalina and 351 Clemente Avenue. And we also have a site plan, variance, and coastal development permit application for an addition to a property at 108 Middle Terrace. Looking forward to April, we're still working on the agenda for that meet. We will be having an April Planning Commission meeting. The agenda may or may not include the last of our transient rental license applications. We were initially planning to do them this month, but since we were getting to the very end of the list and we had more applicants on that list than spots left, we did want to triple check that the folks who applied chronologically first got the opportunity to have their applications heard before Planning Commission. And the other item that may be scheduled for April or May, depending on noticing, will be our next round of accessory dwelling unit updates to comply with all the state laws that got approved last year. That is all I have right now. Any questions?
No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Manager?
Thanks, Mayor, Council. Good evening, everybody. A few things for tonight. Just want to announce that we'll have 2 special council meetings coming up here in March to hear presentations from the 3 contractor architect teams that are competing for the Cabrillo Mole project. The first one will be Wednesday, March 25th at 5 p.m. We'll have 1 presentation, and then the following week, Tuesday, March 31st at 4:30 p.m. and then 6 p.m. the other 2 teams will present. So it's open to the public for those meetings. We certainly encourage the public to come up, see and hear from prospective candidates and who we're going to be working with on that project. Want to announce for people to keep an eye out on our social media starting next Tuesday, and in the days that follow, the city will be recognizing and honoring our female employees here that work for the city in honor of Women's History Month. And thank you to Stephanie Campbell for putting that together, and we'll start putting that out 1 a day starting next week. So we're very happy to be honoring those.
How in depth do we get?
I'm sorry?
How in-depth do we get on the life of these women?
I should thank all our staff for being willing to participate. The first try was to have individual photos and individual recognitions. Nobody would really go for that, so we did put them in groups. So they were willing to go in a group, but not individually. So it doesn't get too in-depth.
Okay.
And then finally, very exciting news. Want to make the announcement tonight. This morning, Mayor Marshall and I had the privilege of attending the 2026 Measure A Competitive Grant Awards ceremony in Los Angeles at the LA County Supervisors Building. This was the announcement for the year for the LA County's Regional Park and Open Space District for awarding the competitive grants. I'd like to say that the information we got from the folks up there, they told us that this was a highly competitive year for these grants. With many applicants and many not being awarded. But the City of Avalon was successful in securing a grant in the amount of $2.48 million for our South Beach restoration project. This is a huge project, very important project for the city. It'll include a new ramp, restoration of the existing seawall, sand replenishment to the tune of hundreds of thousands of cubic yards of sand being brought in to take that lower beach to within a foot of the wall, and replacement of the groin wall to protect that new beach. So this is, a tremendous award, but it comes with a lot of work, and I want to recognize the team that did all that work. If we could have them come up tonight. Kevin Schmidt, Harbor Master. Aliana Gonzalez, our grants administrator, David Hart, Director of Community Services, and Ryan McCarthy, who is here from Townsend Public Affairs, our lobbyist, who worked with these four, if they can hold this. We really try to tout and talk about the team concept, and that's what these four folks are for the city. I'd also say Bob Greenlaw obviously had some input in the grant application as we work through this. But even though we're a team, every team has a captain or a quarterback, and make no bones about it, Aliana is the captain of this team.
All right.
This is a really big deal, and I want to say that as we were up there today out LA County, there was only 6 entities that received more than the City of Avalon.
Yeah.
And I could tell as the mayor and I were walking away, and the City of LA was coming up to us, and they were looking at our check and the amount on it, and they had received $500,000. We had $2.4 million. A lot of larger staffs, larger cities that, have whole teams of people got far less than us, and it's just a credit to these folks. So really appreciate it. Thanks again, you guys.
And they gave out a total of $78 million. So for us, anyway, we were right. We were up there with the big guys for sure. So thank you. What's that? I know, it's very huge. Thank you. Thank you.
So look forward from a timing standpoint. We're not exactly sure when that project will start, but our goal is to make Kevin's life as difficult as possible and start that next year when we're replacing the decking and we have the mole going on and the dinghy docks going on and just surround the harbor with projects. So.
And all your vacations have been canceled. Okay.
Thank you.
Is there a city attorney, Scott?
Yes, I am here. I don't have anything special tonight, Mayor and Council.
He was out there.
I'm here. Hello? Oh, well.
Thank you for coming and seeing your baby girl.
I am here. And I
Okay,
don't
Scott,
have
I
anything
can
to
barely hear
report
you.
tonight.
Have anything to report?
No, not tonight.
Okay.
Can
thank
anyone
you.
hear me?
Council member reports.
Yes. I'll go first since
Okay.
I'm short. Just to follow up on the clothing drive, thank you, Avalon. You donated 9,800 pounds of clothing that is now in Palm Springs. Good job. We're 9,800 pounds less in our landfill.
Yeah.
And then just that I will be attending League Policy Committee meeting next Thursday in Costa Mesa.
I attended Contract Cities last week. At the moment, I am holding down the fort with my children because the Corey's working crazy hours.
Oh, yeah.
Luckily enough, I'm taking a little bit of a month off of school, but we're back at it again next month. Still going with Women's Forum, still advocating for the Boys and Girls Club, which is looking great. We have a possible host. But yeah, constantly trying to get myself into something else. You know me.
I know, you don't stop. Oh, thank you.
Attended Gateway Cities COG on the 4th, and just wanted to remind people again, if anyone has children that are aging out of the foster care system, there may be assistance either here on the island or off island for additional financial assistance to ensure that they don't become homeless. There also is a program that Gateway Cities, hopefully we'll have info on at the next meeting in April, for anyone who may be struggling to make ends meet to pay rent or at the precipice of becoming homeless. There are funds that Gateway Cities secured for our region specifically for people who may be in that boat, where they can apply for assistance for 1 or 2 months to ensure that they don't become homeless and can get back on their feet. It's a pilot program. We're hoping to expand it over the years because we understand that, especially in Southern California, rent is expensive and everything else is expensive too. So I'll get more info for you guys on that one. And then I'll be attending Gateway Cities on the 1st, which will be before our next regular council meetings next month. And that's all I got right now. Oh, sorry, Jim. I didn't do Jim's.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. 2 things. Jim Lujan was running behind this evening, and he asked me to remind everyone that this Thursday is going to be the mixer at the Catalina Canyon Inn. This is featuring 15 nonprofits, so if you're interested in getting involved with nonprofits in the community, or if you would like to find out how to support them more, they will be there presenting what it is they do and how they work within the community for us. And then you'll also get to just hang out at the canyon, which is a nice spot to hang out. And then please, if you have not yet, visit the Love Catalina social media. You can vote for Avalon as one of USA Today's 10 best. Votes are allowed once a day. However, you can vote on multiple devices if you have them. And there are 11 more days to vote. The Catalina Island Marathon was also nominated, so if you want to look both at the city and at the marathon and vote for both, you absolutely can do that. There are also other businesses and other categories on there that you can check out, which are kind of cool. It's a rabbit hole. I caution you, do it with a little bit of time. And then Shred Day is going to be April 20th. More details to come on that soon, but just kind of pencil that in as a day that you might want to be shredding documents if you need to. Careful. And then Earth Day, there will be a community-wide event on April 22nd to celebrate Earth Day. More on that to come as well.
Okay.
There you go.
Question for Lisa and Dave.
Yeah.
For the financial help, that link,
Yeah.
is that something that we can add on our website?
Yeah.
For our residents to be able to use?
They were just getting the program together, so they should have more info for us. I'll make sure that when we do get it, we share
Beautiful.
it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't have much, but I did visit the dental clinic the other day, which only comes once a month, but it serves our local, our students, and I think I was involved in the establishment of that back in the late 80s, I believe, and it's been going strong with the coordination of USC bringing over their staff, and I walked in there and it was packed. So they're really doing a good job, and I believe, though, if a child has more need than once a month, then they do something about getting them to the mainland and taking care of really dire cases and that kind of thing. But it's nice to know that they're alive and well up there at the school. Okay, oral communications. This is an opportunity to speak on items that are not on the agenda. You will be limited to 2 minutes and no action will be taken.
Speaking of which, Constance and I are a team in the play that's going on. If you want to see
yay.
basically just Constance and me.
Just you guys.
come on and do shtick and go off and come on again and do shtick. It's going to be awesome. Not library, don't turn my timer on. It's the play that Mr. Sean is doing. Okay, so anyway, there's a heat wave. The library has excellent air conditioning, and because we've got so many cruise ships and so many kids, I'm basically breaking into my magic trunk of crafts every afternoon. So come on down, we got a lot going on. Wednesday, I think I'm going to show a movie on our little projector with the screen up and some popcorn. We're going to show a Sherlock Holmes movie, Trial by Terror. It's old, but it's fabulous, and you don't have to pay a license because it's on Canopy, the library's service where you can use your library card to stream a lot of movies.
In black and white?
Trial by...
Is it in black and white?
Oh, yes, it's in black and white.
That's
yes.
old. Okay.
Oh, yes. And also, I usually try and figure out a public domain cartoon. There are so many Warner Brothers things with Bugs Bunny. They're fabulous. Yeah, okay. And the kids have never seen anything like it. If you ever see the kids explode, their heads explode watching those old cartoons. Friday, I've got the Crayola Arts Academy World of Design coming at 3 o'clock. It's going to be sort of an art project. It's I don't know what they're going to do, but they're very acclaimed. They're from Pasadena Arts Council. They're quite extraordinary, is what I've heard from other people. I said, get them, so we got them. Our book club is going to be There Are Rivers in the Sky. We've got a nice, robust book club going on. Book club's going to be next Tuesday at 6 o'clock. The month after that, in April, we're going to be doing Hamnet, the book, not the movie, because it's based on a book, and we're all about the books. So come read Hamnet. I'm going to get some copies. They haven't arrived yet, but they'll be arriving in the next couple weeks. We'll read Hamnet, and then maybe we'll go somewhere and stream the movie. We'll talk about that. We'll see. Let's see. Come to our twice monthly history talks with Chuck Liddell and learn some of the history of the island that you all have lived through, but others love hearing it. We have our crafts on Tuesdays and Fridays. Well, we're doing crafts all the time this week. Story time, Saturday at 11. Come to our story times. They're fun. Everybody loves our story time. And let's see, games on Wednesdays. Make a Chinese Fan on April 23rd with the artist Emmy Lamb. Lots of bestsellers. We've got lots of books coming in. Thank you. Use your library. We're here for you. Use your library.
And what you read off of, do you have those for people to pick up?
Yes, this is our narrative calendar. It's just the month at a glance. I have many copies at the library. Just come in and you don't even talk to us. It's right there.
Exactly,
if I were smart, I'd bring them up here, wouldn't I? I'll do that next time. I'll bring it. I used to have copies in the lobby.
No, that's okay. I was telling somebody you could just, because there's so much,
I do this
so
every
much
month.
to remember.
It's our calendar. It's also available at lacountylibrary.org/Avalon Library. And I believe I try and put up our ads, our stuff, on the Love Catalina events calendar, and they sweep that for the newspaper. So you see that in the newspaper as well. So if I go to the opening of an envelope around here, just at the local library. I'll be at the thing on Thursday, the nonprofit thing. Got a big box of tote bags, so come and get a library tote bag.
Thank you
for your time.
Thank you. Constance?
I did a short stick, so here I am. Okay. All right. Hello. Constance, VP for PTO. And I'm just going to read off this paper. The Avalon PTO is excited to announce the return of our PTO golf fundraiser, a tradition in our small town that has not been held in the past 2 years, following the closure of the previous PTA. As a newly formed PTO, we are proud to bring this event back to life in its first year under new leadership and a new name. Our goal is to be an all-inclusive, diverse group representing the Avalon community and promoting Lancer pride. All proceeds from this tournament will go directly towards our PTO Senior Scholarship, helping our graduating students make the next steps after high school. In a small community like ours, every dollar raised makes a huge impact, especially for these kids who are getting ready to move off the island for the first time, be on their own, things like that. Seniors who participate in the PTO events are eligible for the PTO scholarship. So if you do have seniors, or if you're listening to this and you are a senior, please come and volunteer. Please meet with somebody on the PTO. Go to Mr. Paul up at the school. We can get you some volunteer hours, anything like that. But we want to make sure that you're participating before we hand you some money. So we are inviting local businesses and community partners to help support the event in one of the following ways, by either being a whole sponsor, donating prizes. We're looking for individuals that might want to help sponsor a team or help sponsor students for creating a student team. We already have one person that's sponsoring a couple kids, but we need 3 more sponsors for that to make a team. The reason that's important to us is that we want a full student team to mix and mingle with our all staff team that has registered and any of the parent teams. And that's just kind of for a community bonding experience. We think it's important to get those students in there kind of in a different setting with some of these teachers, parents, things like that, in kind of a constructive way that they might not have been able to, they might not get that opportunity outside of the classroom to really see these teachers as people too. So that's important for us to do. Just a little bit of information about that. That's going to be on Sunday, March 29th. We have a 9 a.m. shotgun start. I don't know what that means. I've never played golf in my life, so please don't ask me. So these are 5-person scramble teams. If you don't have a team, not a problem. Come in. We'll sign you up. This is going to be $60 per player. Registration includes post-round tacos at the Sand Trap, 2 tacos per player. And you can contact Paul Roma or any of our PTO members. So that would be either me, Paul, Taylor, or Miss Liza. So that's that. We are working on a golf ball drop. We've hit some snags. We're trying to make it happen. So if you know any seniors, out there, we're trying to get them to sell the golf balls for this. And I think we decided on $10 a ball. Don't quote me on that, but I believe we decided on $10 a ball. And we're trying to get them all to sell at least 5 balls each for this drop. So if you guys know any seniors out there, keep bugging them about it, things like that. They know about it. We've talked to them about it. We're going to keep talking to them about it. So don't let them trick you and say they don't know what they're talking about. Do you have any questions for me other than about the game of golf? Yes.
Who do we write the check to? We've signed up as a team, but who do we write the check to?
Avalon PTO.
Okay. And where are you dropping those balls?
Right now, what we're trying to decide is that exactly. We had one idea. We're kind of shifting, so we might. I'll let you know later.
Oh yeah, no problem.
How's that?
Okay,
Somewhere on the golf course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Either hole 1 or hole 9.
Yeah.
But
okay. Sweet.
We need to figure that out.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 things. One, is there a website or a PayPal or a Venmo or a Zelle?
There's not. We're trying to keep everything very just cash and checks, so we can just keep track of it a little bit better. So we don't have a Venmo right now.
Okay.
Our treasurer is Miss Liza.
Okay.
So she's the one that's
Liza.
Eliza. She works at the school. She's got twins. Her husband works here. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Sorry.
And then 2, just throwing out PTO is parent-teacher organization for people who may not be familiar and might use PTO as a different phrase. So,
Yes.
yeah.
PTO is parent-teacher organization. It's the reason we shifted from PTA to PTO is because of the way that it's set up. It's a little more loose. When we were a PTA, we had to divide our money
cranky.
equally between each class.
Yeah.
And here, because we're a TK through 12, it was very hard because a lot of PTAs have one for each, one for elementary, one for middle, one for high school. So if this month, say we were doing an incentive for elementary students, if we were a PTA, we'd also have to do incentive for middle school and high school students and divide that money equally. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. We don't always have the budget for it, so on and so forth. Like this year, we're financing the freshman class have like an orientation groups that they go to. They check in with their teachers. They have incentives once a month. They go in and do like a little check-in and see how everybody's doing, that sort of thing. And we really wanted to sponsor that specifically. That was one of our goals, to kind of get those freshmen a better start. And if we had done that as a PTA, we would have had to have then done that for every other class in the school. So as a PTO, we're a little more flexible to what the school needs and not necessarily what would be forced to do. Like if we needed a specific, last year, or 2 years ago, sorry, I'm rambling. 2 years ago, we had a issue where we were trying to get a chair for a specific child who had special needs. And at that time, I was working in that classroom and we were making a big push for it. The PTO was not able to finance that chair because if they bought a chair for that student specifically in our special needs classroom, they had to buy a chair like that specifically for every other classroom in the school. Nobody else needed this special chair, just this one student. So we ended up having to go outside to get something else.
Makes
So
sense.
this just gives us a lot more flexibility. Other than that, it's the same same structure.
And you're the president?
I'm sorry.
Are you the president of the, or the
I
chair?
am vice president. Mr. Romo is the president.
Okay. All right. Thank
But he's busy right now, so here I
Okay,
am.
no,
Okay.
great, great job, Constance, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other?
Hi, everyone. My name is Reed, and like a lot of folks in this town, I wear multiple hats, and one of those happens to be lead elder of Avalon Community Church. And I've been, over the last 2 years, leading the church through this season of transition and reconciliation, restoration, and wanted to provide an update. I'm sorry to say I've not provided an update over the last 2 years here at a council meeting, but I certainly would like to moving forward as we go through some kind of critical phases. You know, one of the couple recent key milestones, the church back in October voted to begin the process of dissolution, and we are kind of in that process actively as we move forward. We also recently published the unedited results of a year-long fact-finding investigation, and that was conducted by an organization called Grace, Godly Response to Abuse in the Christian Environment. And that, along with our response, can be viewed at our website called somethingnewcatalina.com. And there's also an email on there that folks can reach out for any questions or concerns. And just wanted to say that I look forward to working with community members, advocates, survivors as we move forward, processing this heavy report and establishing support for survivors and transitioning Christian ministry to a new organization on Catalina. So
Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate your hard work. Yeah. Any questions? I know it's oral communication, but, okay. All right, nobody else will have we're going to have our public hearing. She didn't come in person this year.
No, and I'm trying to, for the TDA Article 8 hearing, if we have somebody, Matt, I'm not sure if we have somebody online for that?
Hi, yes.
Oh, okay, we do have somebody online.
Good afternoon. My name's Harrison Sutton.
Well, I think we need to open the public hearing first, and I don't know if we can adjust the volume on that.
Yeah. We're going to open the public hearing.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Better.
Okay. How about now?
A little better.
Good.
Okay. Good afternoon. I'm Harrison Sutton with my colleague Juan Miranda. We are happy to be present at the Article 8 TDA hearing, and I will then read a statement on the Article 8 TDA funds, if that's okay.
Yes.
Okay. The public portion of this meeting is held to hear testimony regarding the allocation of transportation. Sorry, what was that?
Okay, definitely got loud. All righty.
Okay. The public portion of this meeting is held to hear the testimony regarding the allocation of Transportation Development Act, TDA, Article 8 funds. The California Transportation Development Act, enacted in 1972 from Senate Bill 325, provides the major source of state funds to support public transit services. 1/4 of a cent is collected as part of the statewide retail sales tax in this county and placed in a local transportation fund, TDA 3, 4, and 8, which is used to support public transportation within the county. The TDA funds are divided as follows. TDA 4 recipients receive approximately 91%. TDA 3 is capped at 2%, and TDA Article 8 receives approximately a 7% share. By statute, most of the money, the 90% share in Los Angeles County, goes to support the operation of our regional bus service, which is Metro and the municipal operators such as Long Beach Transit and Santa Monica. These services are funded in part by TDA Article 4. Additionally, some of the funds are used to support facilities for pedestrians and bicycles. This is known as TDA Article 3, for the 2% share. Article 8 of the TDA requires that a portion share based on population, approximately 7% share of the sales tax revenue, be allocated to those areas in the county that do not have metro service because they are located outside metro service area. These areas are in the Santa Clarita Valley, Antelope Valley, and Catalina Island. Transit needs can reasonably be met through an expansion of existing transportation systems, by establishing new systems, or by contracting for services. However, if there are no unmet transit needs which can be reasonably met with these funds, the funds must be used for local public streets and road purposes. While the purpose of these hearings is to determine how TDA Article 8 funds should be allocated, your testimony about transit needs may be useful to local decision makers who are planning Proposition A, Proposition C, Measure R, and Measure M funds. The Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority holds a public hearing each year to determine what transit needs exist in your community before recommending how these funds should be allocated. Metro staff will compile your comments along with the comments made at all the hearings, including written comments received before the deadline. Social Service Transportation Advisory Council, composed of local residents and social service providers, will consider your comments and make a recommendation to the TD8 Hearing Board. The Hearing Board will make a recommendation to the full Metro Board. The Metro Board will act in June or July to make the findings about the use of TDA Article 8 funds in your community. The Metro Board's recommendations will be forwarded to the state in Sacramento for review and approval. If you wish to submit written comments, either in addition to, instead of providing verbal testimony here, they must be received by the deadline of March 31st, 2026 for all affected areas. Written comments may be submitted through any of the following methods before the deadline. Online, you can submit a comment at metro.net/TDA8comments or email TDA8@metro.net. Or you can mail us TDA8 hearing records at 1 Gateway Plaza, mail stop. Please remember to share your name and any organization you represent. Thank you.
Are there any comments? Here, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Did council want to ask any questions, though?
I don't think so. The program hasn't changed significantly since last time, so I don't think I have any questions.
So do we use some of this for circuit, or do we use this for public streets, or both?
You can use it for that, or you can use it for the circuit. But however, some municipalities like Santa Clarita, they have money left over, so they'll use it for streets and roads. Juan, did you want to add anything?
Okay.
No, I think that the question,
Okay.
she was asking the question to her staff.
Well,
right?
thank you. I'm sorry, we have a lot of whatever you call us. Anyway, thank you very much for participating this evening. We appreciate it. We'll see you next year.
Thank you so much.
So much.
Okay, presentations.
So the first one we have is from the Salvation Army of Long Beach.
Madam Mayor, Council, as you know, we've been working with the Salvation Army for the last couple months, and they've been unbelievably generous to this community. I wanted to be able to have an opportunity to introduce Captain Gerald Arnold from the Long Beach Salvation Army to discuss kind of why they've chosen us to come and help this community out. Please, Captain.
Great, thank you.
Mayor Marshall, council members, and staff, thank you so much for this opportunity to come and present this evening. My name is Captain Jared Arnold, and I oversee the work of the Salvation Army in the greater Long Beach community, from Lakewood, Hawaiian Gardens, Signal Hill, Long Beach, and now since December of 2025, an extension services here on this beautiful city of Avalon. And so I thought it'd be prudent to come and just share a little bit about our organization, and to kind of answer any questions that there might be regarding our activities so far and potentially in the future. So who is the Salvation Army? The Salvation Army is an international organization. We serve in over 134 countries. A lot of people know our name, but not a lot of people know exactly the services we provide because we're not a turnkey organization. The Salvation Army adapted services specifically to the needs of the community. So our programs may seem a little bit different and our services a little bit different based on whatever those community requirements are. I provided some documentation to the council members to kind of just peruse at your own time and leisure. I kind of want to just give a broader perspective of the Salvation Army and our work. There's a PowerPoint up on screen. If I can get the next slide, please. Whoever is controlling, or am I controlling this?
Dave is the remote up there.
Get it? Oh.
There you go.
Well, now I feel more confident. As mentioned, we operate in multiple countries. We're community focused in our programming and services, community supported in our program and services, and serves without discrimination. This is a key point of our organization. We are an international organization and church, but our faith does not preclude us from helping others. Matter of fact, it is our prime motivator in helping others without discrimination. The services in Avalon started for us in December of 2025. In June of 2025, Assemblymember Lowenthal, thank you so much. One of his representatives came to our distribution of laptops that we were giving out to 8th graders who were transitioning into high school through a collaboration with AT&T. Part of the conversation that we had was, well, what is the Salvation Army doing on Avalon? And in truth, I am not a California native. I came here from Olympia, Washington. And so I said, Avalon, the city or the street? And they said, the city. And I was like, okay, I truly don't know. And I checked in with our administration and they said, I don't believe the Salvation Army is doing much on Avalon. Captain, why don't you investigate? Fair enough. So we started the process of discussion and determined if there's any services that we could provide, what could they be? And on the immediacy, we were ramping up for our Christmas efforts. The Salvation Army does a lot of work during Christmas time. Our location specifically helps around 1,200 families with toy distribution. And so we opted to go that route. And working with the school district, we did our first service by providing toys, wrapping paper, and clothing for children for Christmas Day. And so that was the first initial program that we operated. And then we started having further conversations. It was through great opportunity that got to meet David Hart with the city and begin talking about, well, what services could we provide? And we started a calendar of response. Predominantly, we've been doing mostly a clothing distribution of new clothes, socks, sweaters in the colder seasons. We've also done some gift cards for those to Vons who are needing some extra support for food security. And we're still continuing to develop what these responses are. We made a commitment coming in to David specifically, but then to the community that we would start to roll out these services through May, and then during the summertime, stop to see what we can do further on. Most of the services we've been providing have been during the off-season, as I've been kind of understanding it to be. Some of the terminology over town, so still kind of learning it, but appreciative to those who have been kind enough to me to kind of let me know some of the colloquialisms. Let me just go ahead and click here. Our main goals are to provide various client services during off-season periods, to provide direct case management for willing clients. We now have 73 individuals from the city community members and residents who are now our clients. And because of technology, we can do Zoom calls, direct communication, and direct client services so that we can help people in need on the micro as much as on the macro. Provide pathways of support for donors over town. We've had a number of individuals since we began talking to some of our donors about some of the efforts we're trying to put here, and they want to know how can we better support and serve, so providing that direct pathway. Establish local support representatives, partners to administer services. One of our goals moving forward is not to do things from abroad so much. The Salvation Army, when it serves in a community, wants to be a stakeholder in that community just like anybody else. And so it's our intention to find other representatives, partners, staffing, volunteers to help us along that way. And then, of course, determine a longevity plan for service. The Salvation Army in Long Beach is celebrating 120 years of service this year. The Salvation Army as a whole, over 160 years. But it all starts kind of the exact same way. We put our boots on the ground, we determine need, and we begin to plant our roots and with support and help grow in longevity with the community. So we are at a position of request in some degree now that we have operated some services. We're looking for more information. How can we better serve? We don't want to guess on it. We don't want to bring something that's not going to be of need. We don't want to do anything that's not going to be of any help or benefit. We are looking for that community support, which I mentioned, volunteers, board membership. We have an advisory board and council board, and resources. Navigation guidance, things like logistics, getting items over from the mainland, or even on temporary housing availability for staff as we start to work and figure these things out. And again, into that partnership. The Salvation Army has always been a volunteer and partnership organization. We want to make pathways of partnership for others to come together and helping locally. Are there any questions? I feel like I glossed over that a lot quicker than I intended to.
Well, very good. When you talk about case management, what kind of services are those?
So we do independent case management for wraparound services. It varies per person. So because of the size of our organization, we do have a greater network of support. But it does vary to the independent person. And the best example I can give is somebody very well may need something as small as, you know, I have a child who is growing faster than I can keep shoes on their feet. And the cost of shoes is becoming more and more costly. Can the Salvation Army support that? And the answer is, sure, we can figure that out. Or it may be something a bit more to the tune of utility bill assistance or car repair. We do independent services so that we can meet the individual's needs directly. And if there's a service that we cannot provide in-house, we have a lot of partner agencies that we work with to provide those greater wraparound services. For us, it's not about getting the credit, it's about getting it done. And so it varies.
So things like rehab and counseling, that's not included in your case management, or is it?
It is. The Salvation Army operates multiple rehabilitation centers throughout the United States. As a matter of fact, if anybody in here who has ever donated to any of our thrift stores or purchased from our thrift stores, here's a fun little pithy statement. If you're getting a pair of socks from our thrift stores, you're saving 2 souls. The one on your feet and the one who's sitting in a 6-month completely free rehabilitation program. The ARC, Adult Rehabilitation Centers of the Salvation Army, are a live-in, full-service program to no cost whatsoever to the individual. All the money is by the contributions of the community and through the proceeds of those thrift stores. So that is a service that we operate to.
Right. And we would know or somehow be able to find out if people wanted to call hotline, whatever you have, for those kinds of services as well.
Yes, 100%.
That would be helpful too. Yes. Great. What other questions do you all have or comments?
I guess my question would be completing those services in other cities. What partnerships do you need or stakeholders do you need from us to be able to execute that for our community?
I'm sorry, are you referring to those services specifically or general services?
In general, yeah.
So when it comes to whatever help we can give, it's based on the resources we have. We can't, unfortunately, provide everything, so we always do look for direct partner agencies who are doing something very specific. On the local level, we're still learning Avalon. This is now my 7th time being on the island, and so I don't get a hat or anything, even though I've asked David for one twice. Very sunny today. I really could have used it. But in that short amount of time, I've come to know a couple of things. One, that Avalon seems very community-centric. People here are neighbors helping neighbors. Two, that there is quite a few things taking place well beyond the surface of what you see right on the dock, and businesses that expand well beyond that front shore area. And the other thing is that we still don't really have a true understanding of what our place is in within the community or how we can best support, which is kind of not hinder us by any means, but it's kind of it's not allowed us to really make those connections so we can find those direct connect services. So I am open to conversation with absolutely everybody, even if they're just curious about our cool uniforms that we stole from pilots. Which is actually untrue. We were the first TSA. I like to just point that out for everybody. But I'm open to conversation and communication because we just want to learn, we want to know. And the best way that we have always found and operate in any community is to have locals who know the community share with us and support with us. Board membership is usually one of those easiest pathways for those who have a good pulse on the community.
Would we like somebody like David Hart to be that liaison? So if people are wanting to volunteer or see what the things are, they should contact him. And maybe you can put something out in Spanish as well. Or we probably translate our stuff too, but that would be good to see.
And we are operating the last 3 different distributions that we have done. We have bilingual staff as well. And so English and Spanish would be beautiful to have that. And David has been a massive benefit as a partner in starting this off. He's navigated us to this point, and so very, very grateful for all his help that he's provided so far.
It's because he wasn't training for a 5K.
That's it. If we can get him a more stagnant and sedentary, just think of the good work that could be done.
Well, you got a lot of wonderful energy yourself, Jared.
But I also think what Yesenia was also asking is, what can we do to help you accomplish your mission?
Oh, I see. Very good. Boy, I wasn't expecting that question, but I would say this. We're looking for opportunity. Just this opportunity today to share about who the Salvation Army is has just been awesome. More awareness would be wonderful when we do certain programs or certain events to let people know, not so that people see us as doing more, so that more people know that we are here for help and for support, and sharing kind of that awareness of those services when they start to come up, whether that be through the city or through other forms of municipalities. That's really helpful and beneficial to us, because people don't know unless someone usually tells them. And we have come to really know that in this community, in a very short time, that grassroots communication is beneficial, but the overhead communication so instrumental also.
Well, that would have been good for Thursday's chamber mixer. That would have been a good opportunity for you to be there if we would have known to know and that kind of thing, because they're having all those nonprofits going to be there, and that would have been great for you all to have a table, but it probably...
What time is it at?
On
Thursday at 6.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock? Okay.
Are you still going to be here?
No.
Oh, okay.
But are those held fairly regularly?
No.
Oh.
Not that kind.
This particular one focuses on the nonprofits in town, which would have been really beneficial. There are regular meetings for Love Catalina every month, the 3rd Thursday of every month at 6 o'clock. So you can always come to a future one if you want to meet people, meet the business community.
Yes.
If David would be uncomfortable and hold a tablet, I could zoom in.
Yeah. And just carry him around.
You would be my robot carrier.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Appreciate your time.
Thank you for everything you do for us. Okay. And we have Brian.
Brian.
All right, good evening, Mayor and Council. It's my pleasure to introduce you guys to a project that we've been working on for a few years and that we've been sort of leaking out into the community little by little, but it's the first time that we do a sort of official presentation about it, so I'm very excited. My name is Brian Barsana. I'm a curator at large for Los Angeles Nomadic Division, and I'm here this evening to introduce both the council and the community to the Catalina. This is a public art exhibition that is happening next summer, organized by Los Angeles Nomadic Division, which is a nonprofit in Los Angeles, of which I am the curator at large, not the large curator, but the curator at large. LAND is a 15-year-old organization that specializes in public art. We do projects, small, medium, large, extra large, we like to say, that range from events, filmings, performances, public sculpture, working with the city. We do long-form commissions sometimes with the city. And we just opened last Saturday a park in South LA. That was one of the largest projects we've ever done. That is a community center as well. So we really specialize in bringing art into the communities that are already there, and really not about putting art so much, bringing people to the art, but bringing the art to the people. So this is a project that we've been working on off and on for about 5 years, but really in earnest over the last 3 years. This will be an exhibition of public site-specific art. Site-specific means that it is art that can only exist here. We are working with artists who are really focused on telling the history of Catalina, whether that be the cultural history, the ecological history, and really thinking about Catalina as a unique and special place where they can create objects and create artworks that will let visitors to both the exhibition and to the island understand a little bit more about what this island is about. This is a unique way of working in the sense that these are not objects that will be produced elsewhere and then brought here. These are objects about Catalina made for this specific purpose. They are site-specific commissions. Once the project is over, they will probably not exist anymore unless there are some public projects that the city and the council and want to keep around. So we're looking at this point about 14 artists, right? 14 commissions all over the city of Avalon, May through October 2027. Installation of these objects will happen, or environments will happen in April. It'll open to the public in May and close in October. So that's a nice long run during the summer months. We expect to bring a lot of people to the island to see this. There are precedents for this kind of model, things like Prospect New Orleans or Sculptor Project in Munich. These are really, they bring a whole new community of art lovers to the audience, to Catalina. So we're really excited to do that. But I just want to emphasize that this exhibition was not made necessarily with them in mind. It is made with the community in mind. It is made with the 1 million visitors that you guys get in mind. And we are committed to accessibility, to education. Every installation will require no motorized transport to get you. Visitors will be able to walk to them. No money will need to be spent to see these things. It is important to us that everyone of every income level be able to enjoy this art. As of right now, we have 14 artists involved. That may change, I want to say, but right now these are 14 artists, and these range from emerging artists to some of the biggest names of art in the world, frankly. And we've done many, many trips to the island. I've been to the island probably more than 25 times in the last year, so you might see me around. I know a lot of you already and have been going sort of word of mouth. And my co-curator as well, Laura Hyatt, who's the director of the organization, we've become very well acquainted with the island. But we've brought every single one of these artists to the island, spent the day with them. Many have come multiple visits to kind of understand and try to understand and get a real sense of what it is to live here. These are all LA-based artists, I should say. And I'm just going to give you a little taste of some of the projects that we, at this early point, are expecting to engage with. Jackie Mesquita is making along with the Conservancy, these are rammed earth spheres, so they're kind of like giant seed balls that'll be 8 feet tall. You can see in the picture on the upper left, this will be the texture of them. They're like strata of the earth, and they're dyed with turmeric and achote and different kinds of edible materials. And inside we're working with the Conservancy, so inside these balls will be seeds from all the endemic plants from Catalina Island, right? So it's really about spreading plants that are endemic to the island in different parts. The artist Umar Rashid is hoping to build a large stela, so this large sort of like obelisk that you can see in the picture, that will tell the history of Catalina as you go around it. Anais Franco, she's a second-generation tile maker. Her father worked at Mission Tile, and she will be commissioned to make a new tile mural that will take the tradition of Catalina tile and sort of think it for the 21st century. What does it mean to have a narrative tile project? And we're looking at a site by the docks right now. I should say also for Umar's project, there's a site near Vista Point. For Jackie's project, we're still working on sites. Rosha Yagmai is another LA-based artist, and we're working with the Conservancy to put a large reflective disc up at the Wrigley Memorial, and it'll reflect visitors' image back onto the landscape. It's a device that actually is called a Claude glass. It was used in the 18th century for people doing landscape portraits, so there's a history of doing plein air landscape portrait here, and this is a contemporary take on it. Samara Golden is very interested in public transportation here because, in order to have a golf cart or a bike or many things here for tourists, you have to pay what I would say is quite a lot of money for a golf cart or a bike. And she wants to create free to check out, free to use, what we call surreys that islanders could use or tourists could use. Finally, or actually I have two more. Maria May is working together with the Catalina Museum, which is one of our main partners. That lot that's right next to the museum that has been fallow for many years, she's going to turn it into a community garden. And it'll be planted with plants that are brought by immigrants across the world with them to create food cultures. So it'll be a really nice, and it'll have sculptures such as the one you see there placed throughout. And she's really interested in mermaids, so, it'll be mermaid-like. Max Hooper Schneider is going to work on the pier to create a kind of like living coral reef. Or potential, this is one of two projects. The other is a figure that'll sit on the dock, a bronze figure. So it'll engage visitors on the green pier. I mentioned it a little bit, but we are working with important partners here. We're hoping the city is one of them. Sheila at the Catalina Island Museum for Art and History has been an invaluable partner who's really invested in the project, and there will be projects within the museum that are part of this larger public art festival. The Catalina Conservancy, we've been working with them, and they've been really great partners in working with our artists and serving as a great kind of knowledge base for them. Lola at the Catalina Art Association is incredibly eager to work with us. City of Avalon, of course, and then two LA-based organizations, a performance art museum. We will be staging performances during the run of the exhibition to enliven it. And Active Cultures, which is a food culture organization, we're hoping to work with them to do a day-long sort of investigation of the food culture here on Catalina Island. So that's just a little bit of a teaser of what's going to happen. I would say we are looking for partnership opportunities, both private and public, to pay for this, as well as corporate sponsorships, individual sponsorships. We're going to be holding fundraisers here on the island in the next few months and both over town. We're going to be talking to, of course, Love Catalina, the island company. We've already had some preliminary conversation hitting the road. And it's really a pleasure to introduce you guys to this project, and we're really excited about bringing it to Catalina. It's such a special place, and this is a really special project for us.
Any questions?
I did just want to ask if you guys have, because you've been here multiple times now, numerous amount of times, but to make sure to also talk to the locals, the islanders that have been here for, generations on generations, because I feel like they have a respect and more knowing of our history besides what's just in the books. Right. And they'd be eager to also share.
Right. Yeah, we've had some really amazing interactions. A lot of it, I should say that, I should preface this by saying we really take our lead from our artists, and our artists have been really, really amazing about coming to the island and speaking to local residents and getting sort of anecdotal information. We had a wonderful interaction with one of our artists where the Conservancy was doing a move of Indigenous burial, and that started a conversation that will eventually turn into an artwork. So as we spend more time here, as the artists spend more time here, they will engage with and we will continue to do that work as well. So thank you for pointing that out.
You might also want to look at an additional support level that's slightly lower. I think that a number of businesses or even individuals might be wanting to participate in helping to provide funds, but that $10,000 threshold may be a little high for most people, or the $10,000. Even doing like a $300 or $500 sponsorship to help get numbers of people donating might be beneficial for you.
That's a great point. And I think something that I didn't mention was that we also are looking for kind of in-kind services as well. We're going to be housing a lot of people. We're going to be bringing over a lot of people from the mainland to do this work. PR, marketing, all that kind of stuff will be involved. But yes, I agree. I think it's a great way to get buy-in from the community too.
Very cool. That's amazing.
Well, thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That list of names was impressive.
Next, we have Gail.
Oh, sorry.
No, you are. All good.
Thank you for turning down the air conditioner.
I think I did.
I can feel it already, thank you. Now, Michael doesn't agree with me, but.
Good evening, council members, mayor, city manager, and everyone in the room. My name is Gail Fornacier. I'm from Catalina Island Health. Do a quick, our bi-monthly update. Tim is at a conference in Vegas, so he could not be here, so I'm just taking his place. And we'll just do a quick one. While Matt's doing that, I just want to say Salvation Army, awesome, so happy, and we should connect and talk because there's lots of things that we could do together for the community. I've been talking to Dave about it anyway, so. That's okay. One thing that isn't in my slide presentation that I was going to mention, so while he's doing that, I can say many of you will hear from me soon in this room. We're on the verge of doing our community health needs assessment. We have to do that every 3 years. So we have select specific stakeholders that they want to talk to, like city manager, mayor, things like that. So all of you will be getting something from me for that. But also,
it will help inform things like for the Salvation Army and things like that too. So once we have our study done, we can share that as well. But then there will be just a survey in English and Spanish that will ask that you guys share, that we'll share, that Love Catalina can share for the whole community. And then we intend to go out with iPads into the community to make sure we get people to answer those. We're working on a grant to get maybe people to get a little extra like gift card or something to answer the thing, but so we really get to the bones of what the community's health needs are, so then we can work to solve them. So
Nice, very good.
So you'll be hearing from me on that.
There we go.
Yeah, works. Yep, works for me. No problem. Okay, so let's get right into it here. Okay, so on the agenda tonight, later, is the next round of IGT, but I just wanted to, for the community's sake, remind everybody we've been we have different government fundings. We've been over them many times, and we'll keep reminding you of all those. Tonight, I'm just going to cut quick to the IGT, which is intergovernmental transfer. And so we have, just as of, I feel like last week, repaid the city from the previous all the funds from the previous IGT, so that went really smoothly, and we really appreciate that help. That was helping to cover our uncompensated care costs from 2023. So just this is how far back it goes. So the process has started now for covering our uncompensated care costs for 2024, which is approximately 2.7 million. It's right around there. And tonight will be, later in the agenda, is hoping that you will agree to a non-binding agreement to kind of move that forward and see what we can get for approved for funding from the state, and then, or the match from the state. And then in July, we would need to have that approval from you guys to have city managers sign the letter to commit to the amount. So just a little update there, but that's keeps moving along, and we're thrilled to be working with you on that again. Just a reminder, I did a quick thing last month, but WellBe Health, many older residents in the community are getting calls from WellBe Health, and then also wondering, well, who is this person, and why do they know some health items from me, like health details about me. They've been working with our clinic to, we've helped identify different people who could benefit from some help with managed care. Maybe there's just specific things that need to be watched every month. So there's many things that they can benefit our community for. So they're a partner with us. They keep your doctor here updated, can help you make appointments, can help you get appointments with specialists over on the mainland. And they can just do, it's like monthly check-ins, kind of stuff like that, depending on what your care needs are. A lot of it is for chronic care management. But if you have any questions about WellBe, or that someone called you and you're concerned, it's always good to be wary. We don't want anybody to be scammed. So if you have any questions, just call the clinic. Ask. We can confirm. We can help make that process. We are working to have our clinic staff follow up after some of these calls to make sure that people know that, yep, that was legit. So if there's any questions, just call the clinic, which is 310-510-0096. And I know community members sometimes have trouble getting through. We only have 2 phone lines. So if we have one person making an appointment on the line with one of our staff, and then our only other staff member is checking someone's insurance, the phone's going to be busy. So just know that we are there. We will get the message, or just call back. It is, we're trying to fix that issue, but that can be a little, I've seen it on Facebook. I've seen people be frustrated about it, so just want to mention that.
I just have a really quick question. So so we said it's covered by Medicare and Medi-Cal. So that means what? When they call me, they're going to want that information from me, or they already have it because they have?
They should be able to know that you're already covered by that, and should be able to work with the clinic to make that happen. So yeah, double check before you give all that information, right? Of course, as always, but they should already know, and it is covered by most insurance, which is super nice. It's just like an extra, almost like a concierge kind of service, you know?
Now, do you have to pay for this at all? Does the hospital clinic pay for this service at all, or they get their money through WellBe Health through the Medicare and the Medi-Cal?
That's mostly how they get it. We have a little fee that we pay with them, but it's minimal compared to what So it's so beneficial for
Okay.
everybody. That's why we're really hoping
All
people
right,
will
thank you.
participate.
Okay.
Just some coming up things. We know we haven't had the health fair since pre-pandemic, so working really hard to bring that back. We the Yacht Club is really interested in, as part of their community engagement, of having us have the health fair at the Yacht Club. I know the health fair in the past had local healthcare items, but then also agencies coming in. Since we do the resource fair now, we're separating them. So basically, we'll still do the resource fair. That's bringing all the people from the mainland and the agencies and stuff.
Okay.
And the health fair will just focus on what can we offer you from Catalina Island Health. So there should be a mid-April date. I'm just waiting for final confirmation there. It will be on a date that's not a cruise ship and all that stuff. And then we'll be able to do the cheaper labs, which is what everybody has usually liked about that. But blood pressure checks, all the vaccines, glucose tests, those kind of things for free. We're hoping some of our visiting specialists will be here. We'll have a person from Welby also be there in person to answer questions. You know, you can have any entity that's related to the hospital. So Leo's, the fitness center, PT, all that stuff. That everyone will be there. The med spa, just so you can answer, ask questions, get educated about different things, and we'll introduce you to some of our new social services staff. We do have a training program for social services and marriage and family therapists as well. So if our hospitalist is in town, we'll have him be there as well. And we have a new chief nursing officer. Her name is Dusty, who Chief Red mentioned, and she's been great and really working super hard to be totally ingrained in the community. And maybe next month she'll come and be part of this presentation. So you can all meet her as well. So we're focusing on that. You'll hear from me very soon. Hopefully, I had hoped to have a date today, but I don't.
Okay.
So very, very soon. And then speaking of resource fair, we'll be doing resource fair again. What we want to do, we've kind of outgrown the church, the parish hall at the church, which is a good problem to have. I've been talking with the Catalina Art Association since they're doing their next art festival, Cafe Art Festival, Mother's Day weekend, the 8th, 9th, and 10th of May. I've been talking about helping them set up their tables and chairs and tents and stuff ahead of time on Front Street, and then doing it the day before. And so then they would stay up, and then they would use those for their event. So I've been working with a little bit with Dave about that too. So we'll get that all honed in. So we're hoping for May 7th specifically, but it's possible if potentially, I'm just checking with the county and make sure everybody can be here for that. So we would bring in everybody. We would invite Salvation Army to come and be a part of it as well. That's the perfect opportunity for you to also talk with the community. On Front Street would be great because then we can actually have more exposure and get more people just randomly walking by. I know that on our side, we really hope that Harbor Regional will be a part of it, and always the government agencies. But then I've talked with the museum about having an art project for kids, and maybe we can talk with Dave and see if we can have some live music and stuff. So just make it more of a family festival on that, and so we'll see how that goes. So we'll definitively get you a date here in the next week or so. And then a really exciting opportunity is LA County Board of Supervisors helped introduce us to one of their initiatives that they have with LA Opera. And so they do a LA County Arts and Health Week Summit in June. I think their specific date is June 12th. But we had a meeting just last week and hoping we can bring some LA Opera members over to do a program for the community, and really focuses on how health, how arts, the arts in general, the land project, but also like just music and things like that will come together to help with the health of the community. So our tentative date right now is June 6th. We'll be talking with other community entities. The museum is doing their Tamale Festival that day, and we're going to hopefully see if we can maybe combine something there or whatever. So I haven't had a chance to talk to them, Kelly, because she's been out of town. But we will be hopefully getting that nailed down as well. So just something they really are interested in coming to the community and doing something during that time. And then we're also just at Catalina Island Health exploring a way to incorporate, they have a music and therapy program, and trying to bring that to our patients. So more regularly, even it's just, they do those virtually to really enhance our long-term care residents and any patients that are there. So super excited about that. And then just wanted to save the date for Catalinaville, which is Saturday, August 1st. We've refreshed the look a little bit this year, and we're super excited about raising funds for the new hospital and giving an update on all of those things at that event at Descanso Beach. So we hope to see you there.
It sounds as though, I think David, I guess McKenna, it sounds like there's better coordination on dates. Because sometimes you have 2 or 3 things going on in a day, and it looks like now y'all working better to get a bigger calendar and spread things out so that we're not tripping over each other like some days.
Totally.
Yeah, that's because you yourselves have a lot going on.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
as do every entity in town.
Yeah.
So
So
yes,
that's
absolutely.
that's great to see.
We try.
Yeah.
We try. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
No, we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, consent calendar.
Okay, consent calendar item number 5 on the agenda, approval of the minutes from March 3rd, 2026 regular city council meeting. Item 6, approve the disbursements for February 9th, 2026 through February 27th, 2026 totaling $2,550,796.19. Item 7, rescind and replace the waterside permit renewal list for 2026. Item 8, Civic Center Housing Project Phase 3B bid results. We're asking to reject received bids as non-responsive and authorize the city manager or designee to rescope and rebid the project per Public Contract Code 22038A.
Okay. Council, what's your pleasure? Everybody was here last time? You Zoomed us, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Okay.
I'll move to approve items 5 through 8 on consent.
I'll second.
Moved in second and call for the vote. Oh, sorry. Last time we had to do it the old-fashioned way.
4 ayes, 1 absent. Councilmember Schickling.
Number 9.
General business, item number 9 is the 2025 General Plan Housing Element Annual Progress Report. Kelly.
Good evening, Mayor. Again, Mayor and Council. I'll keep this one brief. Per Government Code Section 65400, every agency within the state is required to submit an annual progress report to the California Department of Housing and Community Development and the Governor's Office of Land Use and Climate Innovation. That used to be the Office of Planning and Research. Every year in terms of progress report on the adopted housing element to assist HCD with tracking a jurisdiction's progress towards the creation of housing units required as part of the regional housing needs assessment, and also a report on the status of the city's progress implementing its various housing element programs. So I think that was the introduction. That report includes over 11 different spreadsheet tables. It is very large. I know that it was made available to you as under separate cover item to review and is available to the public as well if anyone would like to review it before we submit it to HCD. A lot of those sheets actually don't apply to things that are happening in Avalon just because we're a smaller jurisdiction and don't take advantage of or have capacity to take part in some of the programs that they like to track. So I just wanted to focus on the 2 tables very briefly that are the things that are of most concern to the city. Those are tables related to, reporting the, progress made on different entitlements and construction for new housing units in the previous year. And then also specifically talking about our implementation programs. So Table A of the spreadsheet talks about the housing development applications that were submitted in the previous year. So the HCD tracks a January 1 to December 31st program year. So last year, 3 planning applications were submitted to the city and were subsequently approved for the creation of a total of 4 new housing units. One was, as mentioned here, that was a 117 Butalo, 305 Beacon Street, which was the hotel project that does include an employee housing unit, and 226 West Whitley Avenue, which created a new junior accessory dwelling unit out of the existing residence. There were also 2 other planning applications for demolition and construction of a single-family home on the same lot. So those did not net the city any new housing units, but those were projects that we report as well. As with, as it has been for many years, the number one limitation on new entitlement applications and subsequent building permits is really the lack of the availability of fresh water to allocate towards new units. So we have seen, we've certainly had conversations in planning and building with folks who are interested in even doing small infill projects on their properties like ADUs or creating a duplex, but there's just unless they're reallocating existing bedrooms on the property to create those new units, there's really not any capacity to build new ones. For instance, even though there were 4 new residential units approved last year, the project at 117 Butalo, which was a new apartment and an ADU on an existing single-family property, is now in limbo because they lost their water allocation because they did not make progress on construction quickly enough. So that entitlement is still good, and they'll be able to get an extension on that in the future, but they are on the wait list now for water for construction. So table A2 is essentially an extension of the previous one that talks about not only what got approved last year, but what received building permits and what got finaled. So these are projects that have been reported in previous years in terms of new permitted units, but this also kind of helps HCD show that we're approving things, but they're also going to construction and making progress. So these are ones that you're familiar with. 301 Beacon Street, which is the Cameron Hotel, also includes employee housing. They've had permits issued for foundation and shoring work, and we're hoping that they will actually get the building permits submitted soon. And the housing units for that project are included in their phase 1 construction. So when they got approved, all of the housing needs to be provided up front with their existing water allocation in order to go to construction. And then, of course, we'd mentioned the West Whitley JAD already. And then 5 new residential units were issued a final inspection last year. Again, the JADU, the project that was at 240 Catalina Avenue, so that's the 2 apartments in the JADU that was approved 2 or 3 years ago. And the property at 415 Alta Vista, which is one of the villas up in Hamilton Cove, received final.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
On the 305 Beacon, so that's the little house that's right next to where the big hotel is going, right? And
That's correct.
That was a single-family residence?
Correct.
But it's going to be a hotel with a housing unit. Doesn't that use more water?
So the housing unit that's proposed as part, the SCE issued kind of a water allocation credit based on the number of bedrooms that home had. So if you're not familiar with the tariff system from SCE in terms of how they calculate the amount of water a project needs, for residential properties, they do it based on the number of bedrooms, so not the number of units.
I mean, we used to use that we used to be in that housing for city property. We had our meetings there, and I didn't see that as a 4 or 5 bedroom house. That's for darn sure. And how many units are going to be in the hotel, I guess, is my question.
Yeah, so that project was approved as 9 hotel rooms, and the employee housing unit is a studio, I believe. So it's like a manager unit. So that is a project that is also, like the 301 Beacon Street project, is going to be phased. So they have enough water to essentially get, one floor of the building operational, and then they're on the wait list for the additional hotel rooms.
Continue. Thank you.
Yeah, so as part of this housing element cycle, which is the 6th cycle, which goes from 2021 to 2029, Avalon was allocated 27 units that they wanted to see constructed as part of this housing element cycle at different income levels. Because the goal of the RHNA process is to try to proportionally have communities share the burden of the creation of not just new housing units, but new affordable housing units. To the extent that, the city or the county or whoever has the ability to incentivize developers to create those new affordable housing units. Avalon does have an inclusionary housing ordinance that requires any project of 5 or more residential units. 20% of those units have to be provided at a moderate or low income level as a deed restriction. But none of the projects that we've had over the last few years has reached that threshold of 5 or more units individually to require it. So as far as where we are right now in the RENA cycle, 2021, I don't have anything on that one because I think that was a year of we were still kind of COVID and staff turnover, so I don't think that report got filed for that year, but we're working on getting that backdated and into HCD. But at this point, in terms of the number of reported units, we have 15 units. All of those have been reported as being above moderate income units, and that's because HCD does not let us count units as being at a lower income level unless they're either deed restricted in some way or we have specific documentation that shows the person who built them, for an ADU, for instance, is intending to rent them at a lower income level. So because we haven't had anybody report that they want to do that with any of these units, we have to report them as above moderate. As far as where we're at, we're about more than halfway towards the goal for the cycle. There are obviously some projects that could be potentially coming up, whether the city's project, if that moves forward, or some other things that are in the works that I think will definitely get us over the total housing unit threshold for this cycle. But I think the things that's going to continue to be a challenge is getting those lower income level units deed restricted and built. And Avalon's not alone in being in that boat with pretty much everyone else. The other table that's really important in the Housing Element Report is Table D, which is where we specifically report the progress we're making to implement our different programs that were adopted as part of the Housing Element. There are 26 discrete programs within the city's Housing Element. Some of them are ongoing programs, like making sure that we're distributing resources to people in terms of what's available to them, or for instance, code enforcement, making sure that we're investigating violations related to housing and making sure those get cured so that folks who are in our community, especially who are renters, have safe and available housing. But I just wanted to highlight 4 programs that City Council specifically took action to help implement last year. So one of those was Program 14, which is accessory dwelling units. This is an ongoing one we do every year where we essentially go through the process of adopting all of the state laws from the previous year that are specifically related to ADUs. And they do happen every single year. The state does continue to pass new laws to try to lower the barriers towards the construction of ADUs. As I mentioned, I don't think we've had a lack of interest in that type of housing in the community. It's just being able to get the water to build it is the challenge. Program 15, which is adequate sites for lower income households on non-vacant and vacant sites. This is that project that we did for the Tremont Street property that's adjacent to the Tremont Apartments last year, where that property is already zoned low and moderate income housing in our code, but we needed to add some additional clarification language to state that affordable housing projects in that zone specifically get permit streamlining. Program 16, which is the monitoring of potential government constraints. This is the one you spent the most time on, probably the last 2 years. And that one of the objectives in that program was reviewing the city's short-term rental regulations to determine what would be appropriate in terms of making sure that that program isn't to the city's, the best of the city's ability impacting year-round housing. So obviously you updated those regulations to include some additional operational requirements for existing short-term rentals, and then set the cap of 410 units on the program. And you will be also, set the requirement to essentially reevaluate that kind of on a regular basis to see if there are any tweaks that need to be made. And then Program 17 was a reasonable accommodation procedures. So that was, we kind of repealed and replaced in total the city's reasonable accommodation procedures to modernize those to kind of be consistent with state and federal law. And the reasonable accommodation program is an opportunity for folks who need to have special accommodations in order to make their housing livable for themselves or relatives to be able to get that without having to go through an onerous entitlement process. And then finally, our goals for this coming year are very similar to what we've done this previous year. So the city already has adopted the state's density bonus regulations by reference. The density bonus program tries to incentivize the development of affordable housing by giving developers an opportunity to get additional units on a property beyond the density of the underlying zone, or asking for waivers or concessions from development standards in exchange for deed-restricted affordable units. The more affordable the unit, the more bonuses that you can ask for. So we already have that in place, but we'd like to actually adopt some specific implementation guidelines to make it easier for developers to understand what it is they can actually get under that program. Program 14, accessory dwelling units, I already mentioned it, we're gonna do it again. So last year's updates were not as numerous as maybe the year before, but there are some additional requirements that have been adopted by the state. The biggest ones being they clarified the number of ADUs you're allowed to have on a property, single family or multifamily, and they've also removed the ability to deed restrict ADUs, except for ones that are like junior accessory dwelling units that perhaps share facilities with the primary residence. And then Program 18, that's that removal of development constraints. This program, we're going to be really focused, so it's going to be me and Scott Chapsey from BVK. There are a number of specialized housing types that the state requires the city to allow in certain types of zones where residential is allowed. So that can be transitional housing, supportive housing, residential care facilities, and certain types of employee housing. So these are things that I'm sure none of us would necessarily have an issue being in the community, but we do need to explicitly allow them in our code. So we're going to be going through all of the different zones and making sure that the appropriate types of housing are allowed in the zones that they should be in. That is all for my presentation. We're hoping the direction this evening will be to receive and file this report, and then staff will be transmitting this to HCD and LCI so that we're in compliance with our reporting requirements for the housing element.
Any comments or questions?
I think this might be the closest we've gotten to arena number in some time, so that's kind of encouraging to see. Yeah.
I thought arena number was less at one point.
So your arena number used to be higher.
Right.
I think the last planning cycle, I think it was over 80, which I think you and I know was probably never realistic, but I think this time around,
I thought it went down to 60 or something.
SCAG was much more realistic about the city's development constraints in setting that number.
Yeah, that's not.
A good chunk of the city's housing element specifically discussed water and the availability of utilities. So that's always kind of the asterisk on anything that we do here.
So does RENA have to be just about new construction, or are we able to also focus on preserving housing that we do have?
So the RENA number is specifically about new units. However, there are programs in our housing element that are, the city is trying to, that encourage the city to try to work on the preservation of existing units or the conversion of existing units to income levels that are more affordable to residents in the community. Because when I talk about affordability, we're talking about the Avalon's affordability levels are based on the numbers for LA County at large, which we know the demographics and the income here in the community is very different than it is in LA as a whole. So when we say something's affordable, that can still be very expensive for somebody.
Council, what's your pleasure?
We'll move to receive and file the general plan housing element annual report for 2025 and direct staff to submit the housing element annual progress report to the California Department of Housing and Community Development and the Governor's Office of Land Use and Climate Innovation.
Is there a second?
I think that's land use.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Let's call for the vote.
4 ayes, 1 absent. Councilmember Schickling.
Item number 10.
Item number 10 is the electric vessel charging infrastructure at Avalon Harbor. Kevin, do you want to address this, or you want me to cover it?
Doesn't matter.
Just quickly, in 2024, as council recalls, the city purchased through the core voucher program in the state of California, the new electric boat. We received $129,000 plus to offset the purchase of that vessel. As part of that, we also were eligible to receive a voucher of $75,000 to offset the cost to establish shore power. We are at that point where we'd like to do that. When we started looking at procuring this, we determined there was a limited number of qualified vendors for such infrastructure. City staff recommends that council dispense with a competitive procurement process due to economic efficiency, as outlined in Avalon Municipal Code 3-4.111C, and also authorize the city manager to negotiate and purchase installation of the charging station Superpower. Very few manufacturers are in North America that do this. Aqua Superpower is the official charging unit for our boat, VitaPower, that we have. And Aqua Superpower is also very familiar with the core voucher incentive program. So we've determined that they will be in the best position to procure the equipment, install it, and make sure we're in full compliance with that program. What they are proposing is the installation of a AquaGo 50 kilowatt marine charger at the Barbara Pearson float on the east side of the harbor. The charge will be open for fee-based public use for both recreational and commercial boaters. It'll be including a 5-year maintenance program, is estimated to be approximately $76,443. So with our $75,000 voucher, we have a very limited capital improvement contribution to that. That would come out of Fund 10470-6504. So the voucher program must be used, or the voucher must be used by May of '26. And Section 4-411C allows the city to purchase goods and equipment without using the formal bid process, where the goods and equipment may be obtained more economically or efficiently without formal bid process. So this is the route that we're recommending. Kevin spent quite a bit of time researching with the contractor what's best for the city, and we feel this is where we landed.
Does anybody have any questions of our harbor master before we take action?
I'm just wondering, because this is obviously long-term, so past the 5 years, funding-wise, are we looking at already putting separate funds, or where would that be taken out of if needed?
I think we're going to know in the next 5 years whether or not we're going to have recreational boaters using this as an option. I think the goal is that boaters that purchase this over town now, if they have a place to come knowing they can charge, and we might upgrade, I would say at the 5-year mark, we would probably be looking to upgrade to maybe a larger charger or a little one that's more robust or located in a different area. So right now, the only known electric vessel is ours. So we don't know if others are going to be using it. So it might just be using it for our vessel. So, but yeah, we will look to fund this to expand it in the future.
Council?
I'll make a motion to make an affirmative finding to dispense with a competitive procurement process due to economic efficiency as outlined in Avalon Municipal Code 3-4.111C, and to authorize the city manager to negotiate the purchase and installation of marine electric vessels charger with Aqua Superpower.
I'll second.
Second, and call for the vote.
Four ayes, one absent. Councilmember Schickling.
Item number 11.
Item number 11 is the Civic Center Housing Project Phase 3A bid results. Jocelyn Francis.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. As you know, the city issued a RFP for the Civic Center Housing Project, both Phase 3A and 3B. This item before you tonight as it relates to Phase 3B. The RFP closed on February 19th, 2026, and the city received one bid from Jordahl in the amount of $1.7 million. Before you, we have a resolution for your approval to reject all the bids received and negotiate the terms of this agreement. Phase 3B is for the site preparation work for the Civic Center housing project, and we would like your authorization to negotiate this contract. We are planning to return next month in general to present the feasibility analysis in general on the project in April, and so we would not move forward with signing an agreement or a contract without first receiving your approval next month. So, and that concludes my report this evening.
So basically, you're going to meet with them to try to reduce the price.
Correct.
Yeah, to look at the scope a little bit more, find out what we could do
Like
and
we
how.
could do in-house maybe to help
Correct.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Council, no questions?
The only one I was just going to ask about too, because it feels like this is becoming a little more common for us, is just if we need to be, due to increased costs, especially for goods, if we need to be looking at increasing budgets because of that. I know that we were hoping to hit a certain dollar amount, and it seems like it's just not coming to fruition right now. But yeah, I agree that we need to move forward to try to get this done, so.
Yeah, we did a lot of public outreach on this project to other vendors. We had a lot of interest both for 3A and 3B. We got a lot of questions and people participating in the pre-bid meetings, so it was, not what we were hoping for
Right.
either 3A or 3B.
For sure. Well, I'll make a motion pursuant to Public Contract Code Section 20167 to 1, reject all bids received for the Civic Center Housing Project 3A Site Preparation Project. 2, adopt a resolution by a 4/5 vote declaring the project can be performed more economically by day labor or materials or supplies furnished at a lower price in the open market. And 3, authorize the city manager or designated negotiator to revise contract scope with Jordal Construction, Inc. for the Civic Center Housing Project Phase 3A Site Preparation and return to City Council for final award.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, call for the vote. And I have one question, Jocelyn, before you walk away. Okay.
4 ayes, 1 absent, Councilmember Schickling.
So what was Phase 1 and Phase 2, if this is Phase 3?
So we have an agreement with U.S. Offsite, the housing manufacturer. So they assisted. So phase 1, if you will, was coming up with the design of those modular units and that project, and then the second phase will actually be purchasing those units from U.S. Offsite. Yeah.
Already. Okay, we're going to item 12. Matthew Baker, come on down.
Item 12 is setting a public hearing date for the proposed rate changes to the sewer, saltwater, solid waste service fee.
Good evening, Council. Matt Baker, Finance Director. At the last meeting, we heard a presentation from HDR Engineering. They were the consultants we worked with on developing a 5-year rate study for sewer, saltwater, and solid waste. The next step in the 218 process, if we get the direction from Council tonight, would be to issue notices to all of the prospective ratepayers about the results of the rate study and to set a public hearing to discuss those rates and, assuming Council's direction, approve or vote on those rate increases. The one thing I just wanted to direct Council's attention to tonight, I don't have a formal presentation. If there are questions about the presentation we had last week, I do have Josiah on the line here with us. But if the public or council has questions on the findings of the rate study or the 218 process, we're updating our website to try to have all that information available to the public. So if you're at cityofavalon.gov, it's still a work in process, so before we go live, but I wanted it up here at least so I could show council where to find it and the public. Services, parcel assessments. And within here, there's an explanation of the noticing process, why we are looking at increasing rates, what the proposed fees would look like based on customer classification. And we will also have drafts of the studies available for the public as well. And right now I'm working with Devin to build a lookup tool where a property owner could input their house number and look it up that way. But until we get that built as a workaround, we do have a PDF with all of the parcels in town that you can search by address or parcel number to find your particular property. So unless there's questions from the presentation last night, the findings of the rate study essentially showed the need for 9.5% increases in sewer saltwater for the next 3 years, with 6% increases planned for years 4 and 5. And then for solid waste, 4.5% increases annually over the 5 years. A lot of what's driving those increases is we, in all our contracts, we have CPI escalators. So a portion of that increase is related to those escalators that are in those contracts. In addition, there's a portion of staff labor that's associated with that. And so we have annual step increases, and so that's factored in. But the big driver really in all three funds is our planned capital activities over the next 5 years. In the solid waste, it is really driven by the landfill expansion project. And then there are a number of projects with the treatment plant as well as the distribution system that need to be addressed. So really with the solid waste, a lot of the increase was carried in the last rate study. And while 4.5% is above CPI, a lot of that's just kind of keeping up with inflation. The increase in sewer and saltwater is really being driven by that planned capital needs over the next 5 years. Again, the rate study sets the limit or the highest we could go. The rates go to council every year. We can always set a rate.
Sorry, the deer just kept coming by.
Below the rate study, but the study essentially sets the cap as high as the highest rate that council is authorized to go with those rates. Again, at upcoming council meetings, I'd be happy to provide any questions that council gets on the study. And if there's a desire, we could even have a special session, a study session. It wouldn't necessarily have to be a formal council meeting where I'd be happy to discuss the findings of the study. But for tonight, I guess we're looking for direction to move forward with the study as presented last week and to set a public hearing for the May 19th council meeting. Once I receive that direction, staff will be sending out the notices and having the website live for the public.
Matt, is that the direct assessments page that you showed, the long list of people? That's what the annual charges that they're currently paying or would be paying? Is that?
There is the current what they're currently paying this year, so the fiscal 25-26.
Okay.
And so for sewer, the first one on here, the current annual sewer rate is $1,097 per dwelling unit, and that would go up to $1,201 in July, so on the fiscal 26-27 property tax rolls. So you can see that's a 9.5% increase from the current rates, or approximately $100 a year.
I think the biggest concern I know we always get back from this increase is people asking how come it's so much money at one time when it is covering technically monthly billing for all of this for everybody. So if you're looking at it, I know it feels like a shock when you get that that first bill, but if you look at it from the perspective of it's all 12 months billed at one time, because it's on the rolls and it actually saves us money from not having.
It's a huge
yeah.
benefit for city staff
Yeah.
to be able to put it on the property tax rolls.
Yeah.
Otherwise we would be mailing out or keeping track of 1,400 parcels in the payment history on a monthly basis, and so that would be a considerable effort for staff. So it is a great benefit to be able to add those to the property tax.
It keeps the cost much lower than it would be otherwise, so.
Definitely.
That's just the one thing I wanted to say. Otherwise, I don't have any other questions.
Hotel rooms. So per room. Wow.
So how
Yeah, that's how that
the
goes,
rates
huh?
get developed is, and Avalon has some challenges to other cities. We don't have metered water for our sewer, and that's largely to do, I believe, because of our saltwater connections. And so there are some cities that will have a base fee and then a volumetric rate. But because we don't have metered wastewater, that's not an option that's available to us.
Okay.
And so as part of their rate study, they try to determine how to proportionally charge how much wastewater does a hotel room generate versus a private residence generate. There are studies out there that they utilize to come up with this, and this is all outlined in the rate studies. And so they see that the average hotel room, say, uses half the amount that the average single-family residence uses. Yeah. And so that's how they come up with the different rates based on those classifications, is using kind of the best available data we have.
Okay. No, appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Well, I don't know if we still need to discuss, but we could provide direction.
Yep. I'll move to, I'll move the direction to staff regarding the fees for the sewer, saltwater, and solid waste services have been discussed, and that these property-related fees can only be increased by a 4/5 vote of the council, and move to set a public hearing for May 19th, 2026 for city council to hear public comments on the annual sewer, saltwater, and solid waste fees.
I'll second.
Second, call for the vote. So we'll all have to vote yes on this, right, or it wouldn't pass?
Or it won't pass, yes.
Okay.
4 ayes, 1 absent. Councilmember Schickling.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Item number 13.
Item number 13 is addressing the intergovernmental transfer as requested by Catalina Island Medical, or Catalina Island Health, and I believe Scott Campbell is going to address this. If he's still out there.
He's out there. I'm working on his sound.
Oh, okay.
Getting over it.
What?
That was the best response ever.
Well, it's honest.
Okay, Scott's,
Today?
Scott's having some trouble with it, so we'll just go ahead and address this. So this is very similar, essentially identical to the request from about a year ago.
Gavel.
Through the Catalina, Kelly? About a year ago with the medical center, when this initial phase is really a letter of intent from council, whereas we'll work through that process and come back roughly in July with a more definitive agreement, and that will be the final decision at that point. I think the dollar amount that was requested last year was very similar to this. It was probably in the $2.7 million range, and essentially they came back, and the ultimate agreement was, I believe, in the 1.1 million. So we being the hospital and the city with IGT essentially will be reacting to what's approved. This is really just seeking the letter of intent at this time to go forward to meet this deadline, and we will come back to council sometime in July, mid-July, with the final agreement. And I would indicate, as Gail stated earlier, that at this time, last year's agreement, which had a payment plan which would have extended well beyond where we currently are, they have fully paid, repaid that loan amount to the city.
I have a question, and something that, Gail, that you had said earlier, and you can correct, if you want to come to the podium, that'd be nice. You said the money was used to repay 2023 expenses that weren't covered. So this money would kind of do the same? It'd be taking care of 2024?
Yes.
So how do you ever make any money if you're repaying debt every year? Where's the money? And another question is, okay, correct me, Measure C funds is from the boat?
Nope, that's
No, it's
the
county.
That's
It's a county, yeah.
Okay. And so the money that comes from the cruise ships, that's going into some little special fund?
That's specifically for the new hospital.
Okay, so that's
not anything to do with this.
Okay, so when do you catch up? I mean, every year will you have to come and ask for 2 points because now you're catching up at 25 or 26? Or
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's how they assess it, and they know, the government knows that because of Medicare and all that stuff, when we pay, they don't pay enough, right? So they don't cover it all. So they know that they need to help cover funds that way, and this is one of those mechanisms to do so. It just so happens that it goes back that far. So I was covering this with Tim earlier as a refresher today, and he was like, it is odd that, like we're covering 2024, we wouldn't get the money until 2027. But it's just how it works.
Because you get reimbursed by them. That reimbursement.
If this all went through, that the money would then come to us in January of 2027.
Okay.
So.
Thank you for explaining that.
It is confusing.
And just regular Medicare payments, it's always an adjustment. You bill, you send that in, and then it's always an adjustment when you get paid, when you will get paid. It's not like anything else.
It's not like any other business.
I get it. And where did I see the word non-binding?
It's right. What this is a letter of intent on behalf of the city. It's non-binding because it's just our commitment to go forward, and then we will have a binding agreement if we decide to do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay. I don't know if anybody else has any questions. Answer.
My question was just if we're going to be doing this in perpetuity. If we are doing this in perpetuity, one, that we're making sure the city can remain solvent even in times, right now we're in a great spot and able to do this, so I agree that it's something we should do. But just moving forward, it's not a small chunk of change, and we also have a large number of projects coming up. Are we adequately keeping, I think we are, because we talked about this, but just wanting the public to know that we're keeping the bottom line of the city in mind when we're doing this still.
Exactly, and the conversation I had with Tim last week is that, where we sit now in March might be much different than where we're at in July. We'll have a better understanding of where we're at financially, and it's very important for the city to be able to keep the liquidity of the cash flow available, because many of the projects we have, even though they may be grant funded or largely grant funded, we're out the money until we get reimbursed. So we'll have a much better picture of where we're at come July, but this puts us in the hospital in a position to make sure that we can do it if both sides are available.
Excellent. Perfect.
And this opportunity may go away, at some point too from the government. So we're just trying to take advantage of it as it exists.
Totally, totally. Council, what's your pleasure?
Oh, the only other question I was going to ask Gail, I'm sorry. Is there any, Gail, do you know if there's any mechanism, I'm so sorry, mechanism where more than a year at a time can be recouped, or they only do it a year at a time in this manner? Because it seems like we did 23 and now we're doing 24. How can we like catch up?
I think they tried that last year, honestly. I think last year's attempt was to add years, and that might have been why it was reduced.
Okay.
But
I don't know that answer.
If you can find out
We
and
can
just let
find
me know.
out
I'm just
for sure.
curious, yeah.
I'm not as versed as Tim in this, but
Yeah.
we can find that out.
Okay,
We'll let
thank
know.
you. Appreciate it.
And Matt has something to add.
Just kind of, I don't want to put words in Scott's mouth, but I'm trying to figure out the audio issues. He just wanted to point out that this program allows the hospital to receive additional federal funds, and that the city is made whole from any lost interest, as there is a service cost or a service charge to the city. So that we are reimbursed for the time we are without those funds.
Pretty much, we give them some money and they give us more money.
They're going to give us the money back.
Yeah,
plus whatever interest
he
it
did
would've
text
made.
me, this
Yeah.
allows more money to the hospital. The city is reimbursed all costs and lost interest.
Right.
Excellent. Okay. Council?
Crazy concept.
I know, but hey, it's medicine.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to give direction to enter into the letter of interest, which would lead to an agreement wherein the city advances approximately $2,927,441,090 for CIMC's participation in the voluntary rate range intergovernmental transfer program, which CIMC believes will result in increased funding for CIMC. The city would be paid back through any available CIMC revenues, including Measure C funds, over the course of several years.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. No further discussion. Call for the vote.
You're skipping ahead? Skipping right ahead.
She was trying to go.
Well, I have beverage after the council meeting.
He's missing. We only have 3
Mayor Marshall, I need your vote.
I'm sorry,
Whenever
go
you get a chance, I need your vote. 4 ayes, 1 absent, Councilmember Schicklin.
Okay. If there's no, oh, no.
I have one more message from Scott.
Okay.
We need to fix this by July 1st as the new Brown Act rules apply. This.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Okay. Meeting adjourned. Well, it is.